Good day, readers and writers. My name is Megan J. Collins, and I'm so glad you clicked on this video. While I'm in the process of editing my first book, I thought it'd be fun to read some of my character questionnaires. That way you can get to know the characters before I even publish them. Character questionnaires are one of my favorite things to do. Personally, writing characters is my favorite thing about writing. I love learning their stories, making just unique characters. That way I can see a different perspective on life. And so in the process of writing, I've written several character questionnaires. I won't be reading all the questions just because some of them will give you spoilers for what's going to happen in the book. But I will read a good chunk of them, that way you can get to know the characters on a more personal level before the book even is published. Today I will be reading the character questionnaire for the main character, Edelweiss Grant, who is a Jäger, a hunter who hunts vampires, werewolves, fae, and werewolves. She comes from a very long family of hunters, and up until the book, she does not even know that she is one until she comes to a little town in Maine where she finds out that she is a Jäger and that her family hunts monsters, and along the way she starts to learn more and more about herself and about the world that she was born into. I will also later be posting a video on how to make a character questionnaire. That way you can get to know your own characters and fully flesh them out. That way hopefully you don't have any big plot holes. You know exactly all the information you need to, and you always have a place you can go to get that. That video will be up around a month after I post this, so when it does, I will put it in the description below. Now, on to Edelweiss. I will be using my laptop for this because I do not remember all of the information. There's a reason why I write it. That way I don't have to keep it up in here. Okay, the main character, as I already have said, her first name is Edelweiss and her last name is Grant. Her middle name is Vasilisa and Harriet, and she has several nicknames. She gets called Adel by her uncle, Weiss by most of the people throughout the book, Flower by her dad, and Rabbit by Eden. And definitely when I was naming her, I had not watched Sound of Music for the first time. I don't even know what you're talking about. That totally did not happen. She was born on August 6th and she is 18 years old, and she is a senior in high school. For her physical appearance, I tried to dress up like Elle, so I hope that helps, but I'm also going to draw a picture of what she looks like. That way you know what she actually looks like, because I can only do so much with my wardrobe. She is 5 feet and 4 inches. She weighs 140 pounds. She has an athletic build, dark brown hair, hazel eyes, so brown and green. One of her most distinguishing features is that she has a larger, flatter nose, and she has one scar, a little scar on her knee from when she fell off of her bike when she was a kid. The typical clothes that she likes to wear is sweaters in bright colors. She also likes jeans and jackets, so I try to wear the brightest colors I have. I don't have really any bright colors though, so this is the best you're gonna get. Her family, most of them are immigrants or just come from different cultures. So she's 1/4 American, 1/4 Australian, 1/4 German, and 1/4 Chinese. She's kind of a little bit of everything. But she was born in America and always lived in America. And the thing, her mother is American and German, and her father is Australian and Chinese, so that's where everything comes from. And she does have a disability. She has delusions, so hallucinations. She doesn't have anything like schizophrenia or anything like that. She just has hallucinations at times. Her personality is pessimistic, and she's not really extroverted or introverted. She's both. She's fine being with people, and she's fine also being away from people. She's pretty much just fine wherever she is. Some of the habits that she has is whenever she's stressed, she pulls, there's a little white section in her hair, and she'll pull and tug at it and play with it whenever she's stressed or she's thinking deeply. She displays affection through touch. She loves to hold hands and hugs, so that's definitely her love language. How she wants to be seen by others is as confident, strong, and someone who's always there to help her friends. She wants to be more than the typical Jäger, because most of the Jägers are not the best towards the monsters, and so she wants to put on a different approach just because she didn't grow up in that system, and she's like, what's the harm in befriending some of the monsters? She sees herself as someone who's not good enough. She's not the strongest, not the smartest, she's not even the average for Jägers her age. So all she can really hope for is that hopefully she can catch up to where the other Jägers are. That way she's not so far behind. How other people see her is that even though she's not the best Jäger, she is more open-minded than the others, and they have a lot of hope that she will be able to hopefully influence the Jäger community and culture to help the monsters later on in society. Her strongest character trait is definitely speaking. She will always say her mind no matter what it is. She's not shy. If she has an opinion, she will state her opinion. However, her weakest character trait is patience and curiosity. If there was somebody who fit the idiom, curiosity killed the cat, that would be Weiss. She, full blown, if she sees a dark tunnel, she will just go straight down it. She won't even have the patience to go ask her friends like, oh, we should probably figure out what this tunnel is. Nope, she just wants to go. She just wants to go figure it out. And usually that gets her in trouble. She's pretty competitive. She loves to win, especially if it's a race or anything like that. But she's not a sore loser. She might be a bit grumpy about losing, and she'll definitely want to challenge you again, but she's not gonna throw a pity party about it. Her biggest fear is definitely being alone. Like being alone, not like being alone in her room, but being alone where nobody wants to be around her, just because she's had a lot of bad instances with people where they'll be friends with her and then they'll betray her and then nobody will like her. So she definitely does not want to be isolated and alone. Now, does she like the indoors or outdoors? Weiss is very much of an outdoors girl. She loves to go on runs in the morning. That's something she does all the time, and she just loves running in anything track and field. One of her sinful little habits is that she loves to drink hot chocolate whenever she feels bad, and typically her dad makes it for her. It's our little bonding time where she can just vent out all her problems, and her dad will always be there with a cup of hot chocolate to make her feel better. With Elle being so outspoken, one of the virtues that she thinks are a bit overrated is humility. She thinks if you've got an opinion, you did something, you should just say it because it's who you are and you should just vocalize it. The quality she values most in a friend is loyalty, just because so many people in her past have backstabbed her. That's definitely one thing she always looks for in a friend. And one thing that she would change about herself is her nose. She doesn't really like it. And so if she could change anything, that would be the thing that she would change. But me personally, I love her nose. It's one of the things that make her definitely her. Since she is a Jäger and they do hunt monsters and stuff, her favorite weapon is a compound bow. She loves archery and stuff. She likes more fighting from a distance just because she did not grow up in the Jäger society, so fighting from a distance, she has a bit more of a chance to actually, survive an attack. Her family is pretty small. She has her dad, Philip, her mom, Darlene, and on her mom's side, she has one uncle named Klaus, who had 2 daughters, but they unfortunately are dead now. And then on her dad's side, she doesn't know any of her family members because her dad got in a big fight with his parents, so she's never met them and doesn't talk to them. Her perspective on family is that she thinks it's very important and she wishes she had a closer relationship with her family, but unfortunately, because of all the separation with not growing up in the Jäger society and just with everything, she's not as close to her family as she would like. but that's definitely one thing that she wants to improve. And she did have one sibling, a younger brother, but unfortunately he died of SIDS. Her best friends are definitely Fern and Asher. When she's looking for a friend, she always tries to go for somebody who she can talk with and that can calm her down and will encourage her to get out of her bubble and explore things. And unfortunately, Weiss does not have any pets. Her dad's allergic to majority of animals, but when she moves out, she plans on getting a dog because she loves dogs. Growing up, she was very nurtured until about 8. That's when her younger brother died, and her family since then has been more broken up and not really connecting after that. The most offensive thing she has said is definitely to her mother. Her mother is most of the time away on business trips, so she does not really like her, and she says a lot of nasty things about her, but most of the time the mom can't really be offended by it because she's not there to hear it, so they don't have a very good relationship. On the topic of her mom, one of the worst things she does is she refuses to call her mother mom just because she feels like she's not around enough to earn such a title. Her biggest accomplishment is definitely running a mile in 7 minutes. With her being a Jäger, her body is stronger and faster than most people, and so she definitely hones her running skills. And because of her dad, the smell that definitely reminds her of her childhood is hot chocolate. That girl will always be down for a cup of hot chocolate. Growing up, her childhood ambition was to own a bed and breakfast or some sort of building. That way, when she grew up and had her own family, she would not be able to go on business trips like her mom does. She would always have to stay in the area, and that way she would always be sure that she would be involved in her family's life. In a conflict, how she responds to a threat is, at first, if she doesn't know what's going on, she'll freeze, just because her mind's working like a million miles an hour and she can't figure out what's going on. But once she understands what's going on, what the threat is, she will usually just start yelling and state her opinion, and then if they attack, she'll attack. And she's more likely to fight with her tongue by yelling. However, she is not scared to throw a punch if she needs to. One of her biggest kryptonites is definitely her family and friends. Even though her family is not the closest, she will always do anything to protect them, and she will always protect her friends because they are always there for her. If her house was on fire, she would try to save her collage of butterflies. Whenever she's having a bad day, she'll cut out a little butterfly and she'll write whatever made her mad just to get all the anger out. That way she doesn't have it bottled up inside of her and put it on there. So the collage of butterflies is very much a makeshift journal for her, so she would save that. She would also save all the books and stuff that her grandfather gave her just because she values them. And one of her biggest phobia is spiders. She hates those things. She will run screaming if she sees them. She will fight a monster. She will say whatever she wants, but if she sees a little spider, she will run screaming. So my sister Mariah can definitely understand that feeling because she hates spiders. Okay, if you've gotten this far in the video, put a blue heart down in the comments for being one of the most amazing people and getting this far. Her current job is being a high school student and learning how to be a Jäger. She very much likes learning how to be a Jäger. She's very stressed about all the learning stuff that she has to do, but learning how to do the fighting, that she likes. She's always down for that. And for school, she mainly gets like B's. She's a solid B student. One of her past jobs was working in an ice cream shop back when she lived in New Mexico, and also back there she was on the track team. Her hobbies include reading, running, fighting, and shooting arrows. Her intelligence level is pretty much average. She's not the smartest cookie, but she's also not the dumbest, so she's pretty much just in the middle. And she's very good at sports. With her being a Jäger, she's very athletic and everything, especially with running and the fighting like I mentioned. And she also really likes soccer, but she's never like been on a team for it, but she does love soccer. The languages that she can speak is English and German. In the Jäger Society, everything is in German. That's where all their political stuff is in Germany, and so you have to learn German to be able to talk with anybody, because that's one of the languages all the monsters and the Jägers know. That way they can all at least talk to each other. Now, what are some of Weiss's favorite things? Her favorite animal is a fox. She just loves them. Don't know why. Probably because they're colorful and she just loves watching them run. But her most disliked animal is, you guessed it, spiders! She does not like those things. And the place that she would most like to visit is Austria, because that's where her father grew up before he left his family to go move to America. She personally prefers reading, music, and then art. She's always down to read a good book and listen to some music. She's not the biggest artist. She draws like she's in 5th grade, maybe even like 2nd grade. She's not that good at it, so she would much rather enjoy somebody else's art than make her own or anything like that. And her favorite color is yellow. I probably should have worn a yellow shirt for this. Oops. On to possessions. She personally does not own a car or drive a car because of her hallucinations. She is not legally allowed to operate a motor vehicle, so driving is not for her. And her phone case, because she loves yellow and soccer, is a yellow phone case with a soccer sticker on it. Okay, spirituality. She does believe in an afterlife. She doesn't know what happens when like a ghost moves on. Her theory is that ghosts are on the world when they're stuck, but when they have solved their unfinished business, they get to move on. But she doesn't know what happens after that. She doesn't know anything about like heaven or anything like that. So, but she does believe in ghosts. If she got to be reincarnated, she would definitely pick a fox because she loves that. Or she'd pick somebody in a family that's actually together and actually a solid family unit. So we can definitely tell what her family life is like. Her spirit animal is a fox, shocking, and her zodiac sign is a Leo because she was born in August. In her daily life, she eats lots of takeout because her dad is a terrible cook. Like, that man does not know how to make eggs without shells in it. And her mom is usually away to cook, so they just end up getting takeout. Thankfully, though, she does not have any allergies, so she doesn't have to worry about that. And personally, she is more of a minimalist. However, because of her house, with it being so old, with all her like family stuff, her house looks a lot more cluttered than she would like, but she would much rather it be white and clear from everything and just simple. Personally, her favorite drink is hot chocolate, and since she is 18 and lives in America, she's never had alcohol, but she does love the look of wine bottles. Her family has a cellar and she loves the look of them, so when she turns 21, she's definitely gonna try alcohol. She's definitely gonna try the bottles of wine that her family has, so one day she's hoping for that. And now some just random miscellaneous questions. Her biggest hero in her life is her dad. Her dad and her are the closest. She can always trust him. If there's one person she could save, it's definitely her dad. Her and her dad are, you will find no two closer people. They will always be there for each other. And if she had to call one person for help, it would always be her dad, because he would always answer and he would always do anything. He would drop whatever he needed to drop to go help his daughter. If she won the lottery, she would take her family on a vacation. That way they could hopefully have some time to bond. But most likely her mother would not be able to go on the vacation, so it would probably just be her and her dad. She would then save the rest of the money to go to college and stuff and move out when she finishes high school, because she just wants to leave. Her idea of perfect happiness is a day in the sun with her family and friends, enjoying a picnic. She's never gone on a picnic, and she really wants to. That is like this girl's ultimate goal in life, is to go on a picnic. So she's a woman with easy pleasures. If she got to speak to a fortune teller, she would definitely ask about her family, if they would be able to actually have a meal without fighting, and if they'd actually be able to be together at one point. So that's definitely what she would ask. And if she could travel through time, she would definitely want to go back to when her parents had met. That way she could see them when they were actually a uniformed pair. Other than that, she would like to stay in her own time. She very much likes the modern world and likes all the conveniences and does not want to go back in a time without the internet and everything like that. Lastly, this is the last question. If she could have any superpower, it would be healing. She thinks that would be very useful, especially with being a Jäger and fighting. She could heal herself or heal her friends. That would solve a lot of her problems. Just to let you know, all of the answers for these questions are set for only the first book. Some of the questions do change with the later books. I also did not answer every single question on the character questionnaire just because either it's kind of boring and I don't want to bore you out, or it's going to reveal some of the plot twists. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you those. But fortunately, hopefully you will figure them out when you read the book. With that being said, I hope you really enjoy this video. I know I enjoyed making it. I love yapping about my characters. I will always do that whenever I get the chance. So thank you so much for following this video. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be great. You can put in the comments what your favorite thing that you learned about Weiss was. And if there's any questions you have about her, you can put those in the comments and I will try to answer them. Unless they will be a big plot secret, then I will not answer them, but I'll let you know that. Okay, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video and for taking the time in the day to learn about my characters, and I'll see you in the next one.